sight. Everybody fighting for their rights, getting sore, shouting their voice. Freedom was never a choice. Peace failed to try and divide. No kings is what we provide. None of us will ever concede our rights to basic human needs. That's what I'm talking about. No kings. Any questions? And by the way, Donald Trump, if you're listening, you can kiss my ass. That's right, kiss my ass. Another day, another dollar bill to pay. Donald Trump looking worse every day. Which one will it come across first? Good economy or Donald Trump's hearse? For our soldiers standing at bay. Only king I need is MLK. Think I'm looking to start up some beef. Abolish ICE and fuck the police. What? Huh? You want me to solo? The song's happening like as we speak. I gotta prepare. Okay, shit. I gotta prepare. Okay, 3, 2, fuck. Yesterday, I had a great sight. Everybody fighting for their rights, getting sore, shouting their voice. Freedom was never a choice. Peace failed to try and divide. No kings is what we provide. None of us will ever concede our rights to basic human needs. Oh yeah. You already know it. And by know it, I mean filling in the empty space with my voice. That's how you write a song, goddammit. Alright, back to the tunes. Another day, another dollar bill to pay. Donald Trump looking worse every day. Which one will it come across first? Good economy or Donald Trump's hearse? For our soldiers standing at bay. Only king I need is MLK. Think I'm looking to start up some beef. Abolish ICE and fuck the police. I don't even give a shit. I'm gonna include this in the song. I made this in one fucking day, so you better appreciate it. Go to my Bandcamp, do all that shit. Fuck Donald Trump, fuck ICE, fuck Republicans. Join your DSA. Where she streams, all that content is bursting the seams. Politics, daily, plenty more. Your sense of fashion, you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat Jack, 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 Riverboat Jack. That's what I'm talking about. First time singing the song, it's from Riverboat Jack. Shout out. I don't know what I'm doing really, but I got passion. And that's what it's about. It's all about passion. where she streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, gaming, and plenty more. Her sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat Jack, 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 Riverboat Jack.
Hello, how we doing, folks? How we doing? Hello. I know we're doing an early stream today. I might not be able to get to the Yakuza bit right now during this particular stream because I have a limited amount of time available to me, but I thought we'd knock out the news for the day before we do the Yakuza stream later tonight when more people are, aware of when I stream. So that's what we're doing today. Just to get you all on the same page. Hello, Damned Sputnik. Hello, Matthew H. Hello, Faraxiel. Hello, Regington Mogus. Hello, Tasmilius Hero. Hello, Dio Rose. Hello, The Knifiest Duck. Hello, Tess. Hello, Ava Anomaly. Hello, John Bogardus. Hello, Gwenifer. Hello, Quigley. Hello. How we doing, Van Briggs? Yeah. I don't have liquid to drink. That's fine. We're going hard. And do 5 arm curls. I can't until I get a rug. But hello, Avelos, Aveli. Hello, Bragwin. Hello, Cute Dark Arts. Hello, Feistiest Bard. Hello, Damned Dustin the Damned. Hello, Kraken Pill 2, the sequel to Kraken Pill 1, The Crackening. Hello, Jazz Dog. Hello, I don't remember how to refund channel points. If someone can refund Van Briggs over on YouTube. I woke up maybe about 30 minutes ago, 30 minutes to an hour ago. I'm doing my best here, folks. Hello, CMH006. Hello, Comrade Girl 2018. Hello, The Knifiest Duck. Can you speak up? I'm having trouble hearing you over that top. Hey, you know what? That's fine. It's a good top. It's a good top. And look, in a pinch, it's not the spiciest top on screen. Ayo, hello, Story the Bard. Hello, Anadexis. Hello, Not Smart. Hello, Werix. Hello, Matatiahu. Hello, Salty Turtle Cupcake. Hello, how we doing, you lovely beans? Hello. Also, Jazz Dog, excellent new track. Always love it. Hello, CR. Hello. Yes, I woke up. I'm sorry. It'd be really sweet if the backend on Twitch made more sense when it comes to channel points. Manage requests. There we go. Wait, I did the nya. Reject. There we go. Nailed it. Hello, the Grinch sends his regards. Hello, Zissou Sultanfuss. Hello, Kaylin. Hello, Tactical Nounors. Watching you 2 weeks ago. Love your takes. Hell yeah! Welcome to the stream. I do try and provide my best takes, and sometimes it baffles me because clearly there are some people who tune in for just one video and don't understand my full takes. And yes, I am referring to a couple of the comments on the JB Pritzker video that went up recently because yeah, dude, he's a billionaire. He's a fucking billionaire. Yeah, I'm not surprised that the cops are attacking people in the streets. That's not a surprise. Point is to leverage your power and get them to stop, if it is at all possible. Hey, people are like, oh yeah, he's governor and he's a billionaire. Of course he's gonna do that. Yeah, no shit. But the goal is to put pressure on him to stop. I'm still upset at him. Good, give him another call. Give all his offices another call. My favorite streamer, hello. How we doing, Lady of the Meadow? Hello! Creek Canoe Jacqueline. Indeed, that is my alter ego. Hello, Johnny Ramo. Hello! How we doing, Anadexis? Hello, Not Smart. Just got here and missed it all. Well, you didn't miss anything. We're still saying hellos. Hello, Dakota Cat. Hello, Flop Motions. Hello, Clyde Olbrin. Gonna lurk while I play D&D. Oh, hell yeah. I love that for you. Are you playing like a pre-written campaign or a homebrew? Good news from the protests so far. No reports of violence. Yeah. I believe there are like no arrests made nationally, which is insane. I caught a COVID variant. My head is being compressed from the inside out. Oof. I'm sorry to hear that. This decade sure seems to be completely fucking nuts ever since March 2020. Yeah, it does feel like 10 years. I'll go a step further. The last decade seems really nuts. And as we all know, the last decade started back in January this year. Where do I find your Discord? Excellent question, Elson. Discord! You can just use chat commands like !Discord and you'll get a link in any of the chats. There you go. Just click on that chat. You get to join the Discord. It's straight up nuts. Update on my Republican representative doing a town hall in my town. He did it inside a factory that was closed to the public, so was not able to attend. What a cowardly little lickspittle. What a cowardly little sack of shit. But that's like all of them, right? Like that's like every single one of them these days. None of them want to be like, oh yeah, everyone, general public, come in. I want you to tell me how my party and I am complicit with protecting pedophiles. They don't want that smoke. And it is just their luck that they chose a public-facing job that relies on interacting with constituents. All right. So, with that being said, let's talk about Donald Trump literally shitting himself. Let's do that, okay? I did want to we're going to give like a No Kings update, as it were. All right? Let's call it that. All right? Here we go. So, folks, we are now one day. It's the next day after No Kings. I don't know when this segment will be going up, but day after No Kings. And as we all know, those of us who have participated, it exceeded like all of our expectations. So many more people came out than we were at all expecting. Like if you were in like a not one of those main protest zones, I guarantee you, like there were more people out there than you were expecting. It's genuinely crazy. Like I went to an orbiting protest around Minneapolis, and like the streets were lined for blocks with like protesters 3 or 4 bodies deep. It was crazy. Okay? And you need to clarify why you think him doing that relates to No Kings rather than his normal problems with bowel control. Ha! No. It's definitely related to No Kings. Let's take a look here though. Before we get into it, let's just take a quick moment of silence for the counter protesters. Very few of which actually showed up, but those that did absolutely clowned on themselves. It didn't require anyone really to clown on them. They clowned on themselves more than enough. Here is just one example. I believe this is I don't remember. I don't know where this is. This might be New York. Let's take a look.
Let's go! Ice! Let's go! Ice! God bless Trump! God bless Trump! God bless Trump! Trump! God bless Trump! God bless Trump! Yeah, fuck you! Ride your bike, you fucking fag! Go get a job! Yeah! Loser! Fucking loser!
Go figure. First he pops on Times Square in a jet. Now he poops in his own pants.
You fucked around and you found out!
Stop!
Hey, get your buddy. Get your buddy. Back up, man. You ran into me. What the fuck? Hey, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Trip his ass. Trip his ass. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck off, pussy. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. You, dude. What are you doing? Get out of here. They're violent right now. Dude, get fucked up. Get out of here. I don't know where they are. Get out of here. Get out of here. I'm sorry about you. You need to go. I don't want you to get hurt more than you are. I don't know where they are. Find new glasses. Let's go.
Dude, like, went to a protest, started throwing around slurs, and got his shit rocked. And let's be clear, 95% of his shit getting rocked was himself. Like, he was the one beefing it on that concrete. Like, good golly, man. Like, just... like, one, you should be thanking your lucky stars that these protesters are peaceful. Like, number one, okay? Because, like, you walked right into a mob full of people that you were just calling faggots. And, like, that Bernie guy, that guy in a Bernie shirt is doing, like, you such a solid by telling you, as a group of people surrounds you, you need to get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't know where your sunglasses are, man. It's not worth what is about to happen to you if you stay here.
I can't wait until this is covered on Face the Nation.
More like faceplant the nation. Let's go. It's just crazy, you know? It's just crazy. But look, people were by and large very peaceful the other day. It was like, I mean, you might say, well, that was pretty violent. One of those people tripped that guy. And it's like, well, yeah, okay. He was also looking to try and fight them. And number two, just gonna throw this out there, you know, he's not the only one who's just absolutely shitting himself in rage. Here is, again, we looked at this last night, but it's truly incredible. I'm going to play it without the sound, because the sound is, of course, Danger Zone, which is copyrighted to hell. But here is Donald Trump posting a video of himself as a fighter pilot wearing a crown, and the fighter jet is named King Trump. And he flies over Times Square, dropping literal diarrhea on top of protesters. Yes, the poo plane, indeed. Let's take a look. For those of you who haven't seen it, I'm not being facetious about him literally shitting himself here. You know? Da 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 da. Danger zone! Danger zone! This is my version of Danger Zone. Danger zone! Highway to the danger zone. There we go. Nailed it. Nailed it. It was, you know, totally 100% the same. But like, guys, he's dropping turds. And like, these are very clearly no Kings protesters. Like, you can literally see the protests. There are no Kings protest signs. This is very clearly related to the protests that happened yesterday, and it's just a torrent of diarrhea from the president on top of protesters. And like, if you think like this is like conservatives owning the libs, like I gotta tell you, like, if you have to post a video of yourself shitting on your opponent, like you've already lost. You are the ones losing in that scenario. Um, it's pretty sad. You know, it also is, of course, a sign of the mental decline. But let's just take a quick look. Donald Trump. Maybe he's not just mad about all of what's
It's just a
happening.
matter of time until Playing with the Boys is posted with Trump, Orban, Putin, and Kim Jong-un are all playing shirtless volleyball. Very hetero.
I guarantee you somebody's already made that, right, Saki Tanuki? That has to exist somewhere. But I just wanted to check in before stream with what's going on with Trump over on Truth Social, okay? And wowee, okay, only 40 minutes ago, he posted this video. Let's take a look. It's his pinned truth. Wait, can I make it big? There we go. This is that's the president of the United States. Is he okay? No. No, it's not. And now, yes, I know that this video isn't new, but the fact that he posted it today and made it his pinned post today is pretty telling, right? Like, this guy is basically trying to lead, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be in charge forever, 1,000,000 years of Trump, an infinity of years for Trump. And it's just like, when you gotta double and triple and quadruple down this hard, it means you're losing. Like, I've seen some people say, like, "Oh, Donald Trump is trolling as a political strategy," and of course, we got Jake Tapper here saying just that. Let's take a look.
President Trump, over the weekend, posted an AI-generated video of him getting in a Navy jet and dropping presumably tons of sewage.
Stop! Why are you doing this to me, Jake Tapper? Stop it.
Thousands, millions of his fellow Americans protesting his presidency during the weekend's No Kings rally. I always find it curious when politicians, especially presidential candidates or presidents, seem to express disdain for millions of their fellow Americans.
It's amazing
God.
he thinks he'll last long enough to finish his term.
God, what's insane to me, right, is like, one, yeah, of course, he is being very deluded. Like, he's part of the reason he's posting an old meme of him being president forever. It's because his health is declining. We've seen the signs of the mini strokes. We've seen the mental decline that is undeniable at this point. We have seen, like, his unexpected additional physical happen. We have seen an awful lot of pretty bad signs for Donald Trump's health. And, like, it's pretty interesting, right? It's hilarious. I want to remind Ryan and other conservatives in the chat just that, like, y'all made such a goddamn stink over Hillary Clinton calling people like Republicans a basket of deplorables. You guys remember that? She wasn't even president of the United States.
Jake Tapper. And clearly you can see that Achilles and Patroclus were really good pals.
And this is the president of the United States literally posting a video of him shitting on his political opponents. Like, I'm sorry, I don't think if Hillary Clinton posted a video of herself shitting on Trump supporters, that you guys ever would have been like, "Oh yeah, no, that's just hilarious. That's just comedy right there." Yeah, you know what? That's just some good old fashioned ribbing. Like, y'all, like, shat yourselves in rage over Obama wearing a tan suit or ordering Dijon mustard on a hot dog. Like, you guys are such fucking babies. But when the current president posts a video of himself shitting on the American electorate, doing the largest single day of protest in American history, um, y'all are like, oh, it's just good jokes. It's just good jokes. He's totally not owned. It's just lighthearted ribbing. Haha. Like, nah, this isn't lighthearted ribbing. This is this man feeling so completely repudiated by the American public that he's lashing out and he's trying to say, I'm gonna be around forever. It's cope. It's cope. It's cope from you guys. It's cope from Donald Trump. It's cope from everyone around him in Trump world. It's cope. They know he's dying. They know he's on the way out because of his numerous health problems. They know that, like, his power is incredibly fragile. They know that the economic situation is going to get worse in the immediate future. They know that there is literally nothing going for him. There was a poll that came out just the other day that indicates he's at his lowest level of popularity ever from both of his terms, right? He's at his lowest level of popularity. There's no coming back from this. He's not going to rehabilitate himself because he's going more and more insane as he gets closer to shuffling off this mortal coil. Like, this isn't going to get better for him. He's not going to suddenly be able to, like, rally. That's not going to happen. They are just in a political death spiral. That's what's happening right now. And I mean, what's funny to me is seeing Jake Tapper, like, the actual comedy here is seeing Jake Tapper try and, like, do this faux seriousness about, like, the fact that the president is posting videos of himself shitting on the American public, right? And, like, it's silly. It's silly. It's my first time chatting. I don't like the video where the guy gets his glasses stolen. It's anti-Bona. I don't know what you're trying to say. Where he cuts his e-bath. I don't know what that means. That being said, sorry, it's Polari. I don't know what that means. All I'm gonna say is, like, don't go to a protest and call, like, thousands of people who are already angry because they're at a protest slurs. Don't do that. Like, this is like, don't go to, like, a predominantly black neighborhood as a white person and start throwing around racial slurs. It's not going to go well for you. This is a fuck around find out situation. Polarizing. Look, you can say it's polarizing, whatever. But the issue is people are already polarized. And if you're going to a protest and calling people slurs, you are looking for a fight. That's what that guy was there to find out. And he found out. And you might not like it. That's where the common electorate is. The common electorate is coming out and saying, we support LGBTQ people. We support having healthcare. We support, not Trump. And if people are turning out and throwing slurs around, you might not like what happens to them, but, like, that's where the majority of the American public is. I'm not saying it's right to, like, beat people up, but I am saying, like, if you go into a situation like that and you act a fool, you're going to reap the wages of acting like a fucking fool. You know? So, I don't know. Don't do that. Don't do that. Maybe learn how to be respectful. He was walking away at the time. Yeah, he was walking away at the time, and then he turned around to start slinging slurs because these people are fucking cowards. These people came there looking for a fight. He started throwing around slurs, and that's when someone stole his glasses. And then he took off running right after them, and he beefed it immediately on the concrete, and then he continued to chase over a pair of sunglasses because he wanted to beat the person up who took his sunglasses. And you have to understand who put this sequence of events into motion. Who put that sequence of events into motion? It was that guy. It was that guy. So, I just want you to understand who has responsibility in that situation. It's him. So, I don't know. Like, if you go up to someone and call them a pussy ass bitch motherfucker, like, you gotta expect to get hit. Like, that's you went into that and you were spoiling for a fight, and then you got one. And like, let's be clear here. That guy didn't even really get a fight. That guy beefed it all on his own. So I don't know. Maybe don't feel bad for people who are going in and throwing slurs at marginalized people who then get their shit rocked. You can't hit people over words though. That's childish. I encourage you to go out into the actual world far more often. If you are in that position and you're like, well, people would never fight over words. Okay. Go to a local bar. Find your nearest local biker bar and go up to one of them and call them the F slur and see how well that goes for you. Go up to your local conservative bar and call someone an F slur and see how quickly they don't restrain themselves. People do, they should not though. And I've worked at numerous bars. Okay, well then why are you adopting this childish attitude? People fight over words and you're like, "Well, they shouldn't," but they do. That's a human behavior. And if you go into a situation and you start throwing slurs around and you know that's human behavior, you know exactly what you're spoiling for. I don't know, like, understand people a little bit better, I guess. This is a fuck around, find out situation. And if you're like, well, people do that though, then it's not even really finding out because you knew exactly what was going to happen. Um, and you know what? If you're also someone who's like, well, I wouldn't stand up if my friend was being called slurs, you're a terrible friend. Like, if somebody walks up to your friend in a bar and starts calling them slurs based on their ethnicity or their sexuality, and you're like, whoa, 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 let's not fight over words, you're a bad friend. You're just a bad friend. You are a coward who is not really willing to stand up for the people you love. So, like, I don't know. Either you're a coward or you are someone who is going to stand up and defend what you believe in. Why would I be friends with someone who expects me to hurt people when they get their feelings hurt? I don't know. Why would anyone be friends with you when you're not willing to stand up for them when they're being discriminated against? Why would anyone want to be friends with you? Like, if you're only willing to be friends with someone when it's easy, like, damn, that's a pretty big indictment against you. Damn, Paladin, you stood up for your boss when your boss was called slurs and you spent the night in lockup? Based. Good for you. Um, doubling down. I'm gonna stop engaging with this line of talk because frankly, I think it's designed to waste my time and all of your time. I think this is like, frankly, being pushed by bad actors. I don't believe these people are acting in good faith. I don't believe that they are actually representing their actual opinions. I think they are either laundering their cowardice or deliberately attempting to waste our time. So I'm going to move on and get back to Jake Tapper because I find this interesting. The faux like, oh yes, this is so concerning. So
Hillary Clinton got attacked in 2016 for saying that half of Trump's supporters fit in a basket of deplorables. Joe Biden, the incumbent president at the time, got hot water for saying the only garbage he saw was Trump supporters after a comedian at a Trump rally referred to Puerto Rico as a floating isle of garbage. But here we have attacking or trolling, as the White House sees it, millions of Americans.
Let's be clear here. This isn't the White House doesn't view this as trolling. Let's be 100% clear here. The White House views this as propaganda for their base. It is designed to increase violence against protesters. It is designed to rally the violent motherfuckers around their brown shirt movement to attack people at protests. It is designed to polarize. It is designed to drive that wedge further, and it is designed to make Trump supporters more inclined to do acts of violence against protesters. That is exactly what it is designed to do. When you post propaganda of yourself dehumanizing your opponents in this way, it's designed to do exactly that. It's designed to dehumanize them so that they are easier to take violent action against.
As a strategy, not as a gaffe, as with Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden, but as a strategy. Caroline Leavitt, the White House press.
Like it's designed for a Trump supporter to watch that and say, yes, these people do deserve to be bombed and shat on. Like that's what it's designed to do. Like it's designed to make people more comfortable with weaponizing their disdain for liberals and anyone, let's be honest, anyone left of even moderate conservative these days.
Secretary described Democrats this way.
The Democrat Party's main constituency are made up of Hamas terrorists, illegal aliens, and violent criminals.
And over the
that's crazy. That sounds like if you're saying all of your political opponents are violent terrorists and undocumented people, the folks that, again, I want to reiterate that conservatives think it is acceptable to physically attack. It's really interesting, right? It's really interesting that conservatives will come in here and feign this deep concern for, oh man, these people saying slurs, though, they need to be protected at all costs. Meanwhile, the president's literal press secretary is calling all Democrats essentially acceptable targets for police action. It's pretty interesting, right? And conservatives don't say a peep about that. They don't organize against that. They don't seem to give a damn about that. It's almost like the actuallying from conservatives is incredibly bad faith and shouldn't be taken seriously. If you at all actually have principles, you should be aligning yourself against this administration and with us.
Weekend, we also saw Republican luminaries such as Vice President J.D. Vance and others go on Blue Sky, which is a progressive liberal Twitter social media experiment, and purposefully poke the bears there, posting AI videos of President Trump putting on a crown and Democratic leaders bowing before.
And I'm just going to say, again, this type of propaganda, it's pretty interesting. I don't know. I think that licking the boots of authoritarians is fundamentally a declaration of war against the very concept of freedom and democracy. You cannot simultaneously believe in freedom and the ability of the government to consolidate authoritarian power. These are not compatible beliefs. These are not compatible ideals. And if you believe in authoritarian governance, you believe in violent
Can you
oppression.
imagine Stephen Miller saying, "It's just a goof, a meme, bro"?
Stephen Miller has never once for a microsecond been goofing about his racism or bigotry. Never once. He's never even attempted to hide it.
Him. So maybe to some people it's just trolling and have some fun and lighten up. And
again, I want to point out this is the tactic of conservatives writ large. I've been on the internet for a long time. I've been to the unsavory corners of the internet, and I've seen how these people interact, and I can tell you for certain that what these fascists do all the time is say, "It's just a joke, bro. It's just a joke. You wanna fight me over a joke? That's crazy. I was just using some slurs in a hee hee ha ha way. It was just a joke." Oh, oh yeah, I was saying that I hate insert minority group as a joke. Haha, it's fun. It's fun. Look, haha. Until one day it's not. until one day they stop the pretense of it being a joke and it just becomes their daily rhetoric, because they only say it's a joke so that they can bring in people from outside of their circles so that they can indoctrinate and grow their movement. That is how they function. That is how they work, right? They normalize it as jokes and then they drop the pretense.
To others, it might be more insulting, but one thing it clearly is, empirically, is the President of the United States and the White House dividing the country, and whether it's joking or not, attacking millions of their fellow Americans for having views different from theirs. Remember, this is not an AI video of Trump dropping sewage on violent Antifa riots.
Which I guess, you know, like I guess like in Jake Tapper's mind, that's an example where it would be like more acceptable for the president to post a video of himself dropping poop bombs. But like, let's be clear, if there were violent Antifa riots, just for the sake of argument, and the president was just posting AI videos of himself shitting on them, that would be deeply weird and an indicator that something incredibly wrong is happening with the president. Like that, under normal circumstances, there's really no time during which a president debasing themselves in this way would be acceptable. You know, like even if that was the case, even in this circumstance where Jake Tapper's like, violent Antifa rioters, like, that would still be like an impeachable thing. It would still be a 25th Amendment invoking act to post a video like that, because it indicates someone is just absolutely off their rocker. Like, I just, it's not at all. I mean, it's very cut and dry for me, I guess.
Or undocumented criminal gang members. It's dropping sewage on people peacefully.
Also, again, Jake Tapper kind of showing his ass by like, he didn't post a video of himself pooping on undocumented people. Like, okay, Jake. All right. It's what's interesting here is that Jake Tapper puts together like a 3-minute long video here and doesn't really come to any conclusion other than like some insinuation that like, oh yeah, this is actually deeply offensive. Like, come up with like an actual conclusion here.
Exercising the right of protest and assembly. President Trump.
It's the like this is a video purported to be analysis, but like the analysis is shallow at best, right? And again, I do want to say, like, Trump has continued to double down. He's not in a good spot. He's trying to like make himself seem like his power and his regime is going to last forever, and it's just not. Okay, a very interesting analysis here from Strength in Numbers here. Second No King's Day protests, the largest single-day political protest ever, with 5.2 to 8.2 million participants. And if you're thinking, wow, that's a really big, like, that's a 3 million difference between those numbers. That's because like we're still getting the preliminary results of who turned out yesterday. We're still getting the preliminary like attendance of these folks, right? And it's, I don't know, it's interesting, it's telling. But keep in mind, this is if these numbers, if the upper end of these numbers is reached, and again, I want to re-emphasize that the organizers of No Kings have said that they estimate around 7 million people turned out, or even above that. If that is at all true, we are looking at the largest day of protest in U.S. history. And so we're in like some pretty interesting territory, and I want to go down here Again, protests come as Donald Trump's approval rating hit a new low last week, and as Democrats look likely to win upcoming races for governor in New Jersey and Virginia. But take a look at this. If you are at all feeling or have been feeling hopeless, many more political protests in 2025 than in 2017. We are looking at a sea change here, folks. We're looking at multiple times over how many protests happened compared to 2017. You know, we're around 4 times. And that is only going to continue, folks. That is only going to continue. This disparity is only going to continue to get bigger. I want to remind you all, we're only like since January. Like it hasn't even been a year yet. And the pressure on this administration is only going to grow. Yeah, we are going to win this. We are going to win this, and that is like patently obvious from anyone who has taken a look at the numbers, from anyone who has looked at the energy that has aligned itself against Donald Trump. This administration cannot hold. They cannot actually win. All of his policies are galvanizing anyone, again, left of moderate conservative, are coming to the conclusion that they need to get out there and protest, that this administration is intolerable. You have tariffs killing medium-sized businesses. You have no industry coming back to the United States as a result of them. You have farms going under because they can't afford to pay a non-existent workforce that has been abducted by ICE agents. You cannot have even the existing farms that are struggling to get by actually get by because the tariffs are preventing them from selling their product. You cannot actually have, just on an economic level, a functional country with the kinds of policies that Donald Trump has put in place. And you might say, well, Jack, the stock market hasn't blown up yet. The AI tech bubble is close to bursting here, folks. It is unsustainable. It is unsustainable. And the cuts to Medicaid, the cuts to SNAP, this is going to cause people to start starving. It is going to cause people to start dying as a result of a lack of medical care. And those people, the family members, the people who love the folks who are going to die and who are going to suffer, they are going to radicalize against this administration. It is not getting better for him. At no point from here on out is he going to do better than how he is doing right now. And that's not to mention his health. It's not to mention his mental decline. It's not to mention the geopolitical kerfuffles. I want to remind all of you that ICE rounded up a bunch of Korean engineers who had been deployed here to build factories and like create specialty equipment to build a factory worth billions of dollars. And South Korea isn't investing that money anymore because all of those engineers were rounded up by ICE. We are damaging our international reputation, and experts from around the world aren't going to want to do the work that is necessary to get business and industry up and running, even in what marginal ways we might want it to. And if you understand at all what alienating just Korean engineers, just South Korean engineers, what that might do, keep in mind, South Korean engineering is what makes every single modern car function that it comes off the assembly line in the United States. And that's just one thing. That's just one thing. You know, you've got these AI data centers that are killing small towns, that are poisoning the waters, that are poisoning the air. This is not sustainable in the short term. The entirety of our country's economy right now, the only reason we have not seen an economic collapse is because AI, the 7 major AI companies on Wall Street are buoying everything up. But they are driven entirely by speculation. Something like 40% of the current US GDP is AI speculation. And when that bubble pops, we are all going to feel it, whether or not that is actually something we are invested in, right? This has wide-reaching ramifications, just like the subprime mortgage crisis of 2008. You know, it has wide-reaching ramifications beyond just people who have mortgages. And so I want to really emphasize here, this administration is toast. And the real question is, how much more damage are they going to do before they go? Because we're going to win. We are going to win, and we are going to have an enormous amount of political potential and power to do things like get people universal health care, like get people housed instead of in prison, like get people the mental health care that they need, like getting people the food that they require to live and grow and thrive, like making sure no child in America goes hungry ever again. We have the ability to make things so much better in this country. But first, we need to defeat Donald Trump. We need to defeat every Republican in this administration. Not a single goddamn one of them can we fail to hold to account, because we must make sure there are consequences for how they have caused suffering and death on a scale unimaginable to the American public. There needs to be some kind of accountability from these people who have for years championed the cause of individual accountability and responsibility. And I want to emphasize to you guys that not only that, but we also need to defeat establishment Democrats. Because Chuck Schumer is not our friend. Hakeem Jeffries is not our friend. The establishment politicians among the Democrats have failed us, and to the extent that they are fighting for us right now, it is a result of the fact that the Republicans have so utterly left them without any alternatives, and we have applied enough political pressure to force them into the fight. But we cannot rely on them once this administration is done. So we will have to take the energy that we are collecting right now, and we will have to root ourselves free. Root and stem of these paid-for political patsies that have infested our political system. Okay? That is... that is what we have to do. And we have the capacity to do it. You know, I talked the other day about the Montana initiative, where Montanans, everyday working people in the state of Montana, are coming together to get corporate money out of politics, because we can actually undo Citizens United state by fucking state. We have that ability. If you get involved in your local activism, in your local DSA, in your local Democratic Party, you can start introducing the idea of copying what Montana is doing and making sure no corporate power, no corporations can buy an election in your state ever again. You have that ability. You have that power. We can organize together to make it happen, because, folks, what you are seeing right here, right now, is an unprecedented level of political activation that is, I'm going to be honest, a sign that we need to get involved now. If you want to win the battles of the future against the corporate Dems, you have to get involved in the fight now to start cultivating connections, start cultivating grassroots people power, so that we can win the fight against corporate Dems tomorrow, and also win the fight today against the fascists in this authoritarian administration. Okay? Also, again, when I say we need to beat these clowns, I include media outlets like the New York Times that have been completely captured by conservative interests. Here is Trump posts fake video of himself flying a King Trump jet over protesters. President Trump shared what appeared to be an AI-generated video on social media. It shows Mr. Trump wearing a crown and flying a jet that dumps brown liquid on demonstrators. And I'm sorry, but like, the framing of this is already insane. The framing of this, right off the bat, That's insane. What do you mean? It's shit. We all know it's shit. We all know that that was a video of Donald Trump shitting on the American populace. Corporate media is such garbage, man. It's such utter and complete garbage. But I wanted to come together at the end of this segment here with the speech yesterday from Washington, D.C. that we didn't cover yesterday, but this is from Ezra Levin, one of the founders of the Indivisible, one of the groups that helped put together No Kings. Let's take a look. Yeah, it might be chocolate milk. Who could say? All right. First, yeah, here we go. You also have Leah introing Ezra, and they're one of the best power couples in politics right now.
And the way they do it is they go on the attack. They make demands. They claim powers they don't have. They bully and they threaten to retaliate, and they see if anyone will push back. And if nobody pushes back, they win. And then they go on to the next attack. They are doing everything they can to convince us that they are all powerful, that they are inevitable, that they will win. And I need you to hear me. It's a lie.
Woo!
It's always been a lie. And the greatest danger we face is not Trump. It is how we, as a society, respond to this bullying, to this chilling effect. If we preemptively obey, if we shrink back, if we make ourselves small, if we do what they want in advance. Now we saw them try this play this week. Mike Johnson, Stephen Miller, their cronies on Fox News. They have spent the last week on the attack against No Kings, smearing all of us as anti-American. They tried to scare us out of gathering here today. And I've got a question for you. Are we afraid?
No!
Did they scare us off?
No!
Are we going to back down now?
No!
Who is she? She is one of the co-founders of Indivisible, one of the largest organizations to help put together No Kings. I would highly recommend those of you who would like to get more involved in organizing events like this, events like No Kings, or even if you want to get involved in organizing for No Kings 3, because there is going to be a No Kings 3, folks. There is an excellent training series on the Indivisible YouTube page where they go through and they talk 3 different lessons about how to more effectively organize a grassroots movement. And I would very, very much highly recommend that you guys watch through that. It's really informative, really good stuff. They got a lot of really talented speakers to come in and teach these lessons. I would very much recommend it, especially if you are going to be more involved in local activism.
That's right, because what we are doing here today is as American as apple pie. We are standing up for our rights. We are standing up for our neighbors. We are here because we understand.
Also, I just want to say Leah and Ezra are real ones. They have been organizing public support for Medicare for All for like the past decade. And during this administration, they have pivoted towards organizing directly against this fascist authoritarian administration.
How I'd wish she'd use Revolutionary War rhetoric. We spent years getting away from kings. We're not going back.
Honestly, like I'm expecting as we get deeper into this political moment for that language to become more explicit, Sake Tanuki, 1000%. I don't know if we're going to get it from Leah. We might get it from Ezra, though. We'll see.
We are here because we understand that when a tyrant threatens your right to free speech, you call his bluff and you stand up. In every action and every day,
Who's got time for that? People who give a shit, Raskolnikov.
we defy the regime. So I've got something to say to Mike Johnson, Speaker Mike Johnson, who spent all week smearing regular Americans. There are nearly a dozen No Kings protests happening
And yes, I am Twin Cities local. I don't know who the ladies of the lakes are, but I was out with my family, um, and we had to do a lot of logistical shenanigans to like make it happen. But and also, I'm not sure that I want to tell people where I'm going to be protesting exact location. But I can assure you, I am in the Twin Cities, and I do get out.
Across your district today. And since you've not been doing your job for over a month now, I bet you've got time to stop by.
As we get closer to July 4th, 2026, the spirit of 1776 will fully blossom.
Hell yeah, Ralph DeMarco. That is the kind of energy I want to see. None of this doomer shit. I want us to understand the weakness of this regime. I want us to understand our strengths, and I want us to play to them until the walls of Jericho fall. Let's keep going, folks.
Leah Greenberg, everybody. My God. Look, Leah is my spouse. She's my partner. She's the co-executive director of Indivisible. She's the real strategic brains behind Indivisible.
Oh, the Sisters of Perpetual
We are indebted to her
Indulgence.
for her
That's
strategic
awesome.
vision. I'm biased, but I think we all agree. Look, I'm just here to tell a story. And I think it's important for us to tell the story of these First Amendment rights that Leah is talking about. And this story I want to tell is about the first No King's Day. Who here was...
Why won't you give us your exact coordinates, Captain Sad Face?
Not smart, thank you for the $5 dono.
Is that the first No King's Day? Whoa. No, I don't think y'all were there. This was a quarter of a millennia ago. This was 250 years ago, 1775. They called it the Continental Congress. They didn't have the branding we did. But it was the first No King's Day protest. What they did, they brought themselves together in opposition to this would-be monarchical ruler who was steamrolling the American public. He was occupying and invading American cities. He was terrorizing American communities. He was picking out his favorites and persecuting his political enemies. He didn't believe in democracy at all. Can you...
Choose to bloom instead. Roses are more beautiful for all the shit spread on them. Your uncle believes in you.
Aw, hell yeah, Simric. That's the kind of energy I love to see. Thank you for the $5 super chat.
Imagine? Can you imagine such a ruler over America? It was bleak. It was bleak. So what did our fellow Americans do? They put together a No Kings rally to give us a constitution. That's what they did. That's our history. Whose history? Whose history? Whose history? Look, this is a big experiment in self-government, a government of, by, and for the people. Nobody here is under the illusion that this was a perfect union. That's not what we created. This was a compromise of rich men, of white men, of slaveholding men. But this imperfect union that they put together, it also gave us some fundamental rights to make it more perfect. Who has been using those rights? The abolitionists, the suffragists, the heroes of the civil rights movement, the leaders at Stonewall, the leaders in the Dreamer movement, and all of us here. All of us here. Whose rights? Our rights. Whose rights? Ben Franklin, that lovely Benny, what did he say?
If you can speak your coordinates very closely to this bulge, which looks nothing like a microphone.
Sake Tanuki. Thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs.
Told us all, when asked what they had created, he said, a republic if you can keep it. Who's going to keep this? Who's keeping this republic? That's right. We love this country enough to demand more of it. You know who doesn't want us to make any demands? This regime. The tech fascists, the billionaire backers, they want us lazy and pliant and docile. They want us alone and afraid and powerless. Are we powerless? No. Are we alone? No. Damn right we're not. As I stand here today, Elon Musk, remember that guy? He's out of the White House. Jimmy Kimmel, back on air. And for the last week, this regime has been quaking in its jackboots at the thought of 200,000 people in D.C. outside the Capitol where Mike Johnson isn't working and hasn't been for the last month. You know what it turns out? It turns out that we're braver than the billionaires.
Hell yeah!
Who's braver than the billionaires? Who's braver than the billionaires? This is my favorite part, folks. I get to name some names. Jeff Bezos, who took a respected pro-democracy institution that had the slogan of democracy dies in the darkness, and he turned the slogan into corruption, capitulation, cowardice, shame. Mark Benioff, y'all see this guy in the news, the head of Salesforce, who is welcoming troops into San Francisco? This guy who is begging to give artificial intelligence to ICE to triple their size? Shame. Daniel Ek. Y'all don't know who Daniel Ek is, do you? The CEO of Spotify, which right now is robbing from musicians and running ads to recruit for a secret police force that terrorizes our communities. Mark Zuckerberg. End of story. Need I say more? But we're not just booing y'all.
Weird question, but if your favorite color was your exact longitude latitude coordinates, what color would that be?
Stop
Thanks,
it.
smiley face.
Stop it. Thank you for the $5 dono.
We're not just booing, we're organizing. This is a movement of everyone in this country who is taking a side. We are taking a side. It is a time to choose that side. Are you on the side of the MAGA forces, of the Nazis, of the billionaires? Hell no. So I ask businesses, universities, churches, which side are you on? We're on the people's side. Which side? Look, nobody on this stage has told you there's no need to have fear. We see what this regime is doing. We see them rattling their sabers. We see them sending troops into communities. We see them zip-tying children and dragging them out of apartments. We see this. This movement, the 200,000 of us here, this movement is not a fearless movement. It's better than that. It's a brave movement. The other side wants to suppress dissent, chill free speech, and come after their opponents. We're not here because we're fearless. We're here because we're better than fear. We're braver than billionaires, and we're bigger than ever before. We're going to win this, y'all, because we believe, as all Americans believe, we don't do kings here. How many kings? How many kings? Now, we had a little bit of extra time in the program, and a guy in Vermont with some ideas about this wanted to come up. So let's have him out.
God, Ezra is one of the real ones. Also, what was the last line on his shirt? I was hoping I could see it. It's gonna bother me if I can't figure it out. Where is it? Oh, and enlist. Okay, cool. The good Ezra, true. In a world full of bad Ezras, that's one of that's you know, we need to kick the Kleins to the curb and get the Levins into power. Let's go. With that being said, folks, this is what I mean. It doesn't mean that we are, unafraid. It doesn't mean that individually we hold all the cards. It doesn't mean that we are, unified on every single issue, but we all come together unified on one issue. And that issue is that we are standing up for our neighborhoods, for our communities, for our states, for our cities. And we are standing up against would-be tyrants. We are standing up against would-be kings. Humanity struggled for thousands of years to overthrow feudalism. We are not going to let that go back.
Thank you so much for live streaming this, and it really helps me understand what's happening. I feel like I'm part of the protest, even though I'm at work.
Hell yeah, Twisted Tangle. You are so welcome. Thank you for the $5 super chat.
He missed the perfect opportunity to end with, "They can't break a people united, and we are indivisible."
Ah, that'd be so good. That'd be so good. Sake Tanuki, get into speech writing for Indivisible. Let's do it.
Ezra Klein and Ezra Miller versus Ezra Levin and Ezra Bridger, Star Wars.
Hell yeah. Love a good Star Wars reference. Thank you, Not Smart. But folks, we are not without power in this situation. We are not without the ability to get involved. And if you guys are watching this and you are feeling the impulse to get involved, the best time to get involved for the current moment is right now. So I would just ask you guys, get involved. If you don't know where to start in your local community, because you should always start local, right? Then you can join our Discord, exclamation point Discord in any of the chats. You'll get a link to join our Discord, and you can then reach out to Gamergy. If you would like to join your local DSA, you can reach out to Dragonfly, and she will be more than happy to help you connect with your local Dems and get you going in those regards. We also have channels for specifically organizing DSA members. We have channels for organizing folks involved in their local Democrats, and I encourage you to make use of them. This is one of the ways. It can be really intimidating to get started, but one of the ways that I want our community to function is effectively as a way to kind of help you get involved, make it less scary, make it a more communal activity, to give you the resources and the knowledge you need to be comfortable becoming more involved. Because I know that's a big ask. I know that people lead busy lives. I know that like folks are finding it difficult, right, to figure out a way to get involved. And your local area might have a lot of other ways to get politically active. It might be if you're in a rural area, it might be your church that helps you get more politically active. Not all churches are conservative. It might be your local soup kitchen. It might be your local Food Not Bombs. It might be your local homeless shelter. It might be your local whatever. The reason I tend to default to your local Dems or your local DSA is because generally speaking, there is going to be a branch of that somewhere accessible to you. And if your problem with your local Dems is that they are too corporate, then make them less so. You have the ability to do that. You have the ability to go and meet with these people and change their minds, because they are not all mini Chuck Schumers, especially not on the local level. I can tell you from experience that I went to my local Democrats, and within like 2 meetings, people were offering me different positions within the local party, like note taker or treasurer or vice chair. Like that, people are desperate to give you power and give you position and give you like the ability to influence others within your local organizing apparatus. And take that opportunity. Take that opportunity. Okay. Well, and Buck, I see what you're saying, but I'm not saying to give them your money. I'm saying to give them your time and your presence. And those things will wield so much more influence within these organizing structures. I'm saying we fucking take the democratic organization away from these people. And I think that that's a worthwhile opportunity to
MAGA
take.
took over the Republican Party, so why can't progressives take over the Democrats?
Exactly, Ralph DeMarco. I am advocating for, in a very riverboat-like fashion, a pirate or maybe scoundrel-based revolution within the Democratic Party. Folks need to get involved. You need to get involved. You need to figure out different ways to get involved. And frankly, I don't even give a shit if you show up at your local library and get a local study group going to get more politically involved. But I want you to get it involved. You need to start getting involved in organizing people, because people is where power resides. It's not in money. It's not in any other aspect of your community. It's in the people. And so if you're turning your nose up at organizing people, you turn your nose up at the very idea of honestly living in society. Our job here is to organize people power, to organize worker power, to be able to move in unison on mass scales previously thought impossible. And we have the ability to start to make that happen. And it starts with each one of us making the individual commitment to democracy, to freedom, and to taking action to further both of those. So, what are you going to do? I want, at the very, very least, bare minimum, for you guys to be asking yourself, what am I going to do? And which side am I on? Because those questions are going to lead you to where you are going to take action. So let's get it started. Let's keep going. We have so far, since I began advocating for folks to join DSA, something around 40 folks have gotten involved in DSA. We are on our way towards 50 members of this community being involved in DSA. We are going to get folks involved. We are going to get people organizing, and we are going
Waldorf
to win.
Goggins. Trump thinks he has a mandate. J.K. Stadler. The Obley mandate they have is Vance dating his couch. Oh ho ho ho.
The oh ho hos from the Waldorf Goggins and J.K. Stadler characters just get me every single time. You got me involved. Yeah, we've got members of this community now running for local and state positions. We've got people in this community who have stepped up and are now part of political campaigns. There are people who are hearing this and answering the call and getting involved to make the world a better place for each and every one of us. And I am here not as like some ideological firebrand to try and like push you guys to like any one particular outcome, but I am here to push you towards effective political action. And what is going to be effective for you might be different from what is effective for other people, but I want you guys to start taking effective political action. Okay? And if you are part of an organization and you are not able to see that movement, then find a more effective political organization. Get it done. Okay?
How can we beat the donor class? They seem too powerful, and can't corporate donors just drown upcoming progressives with donations to opponents?
Well, bread sandwich, that's an excellent question. And my answer to that is something that David Sirota, who, if those of you don't know who he is, he used to be Bernie Sanders' speechwriter. He came out with a new book that I am really excited to read called Master Plan, specifically about how the donor class corrupted our current political system. And I'm very much looking forward to it. But he put forward this idea and put it on my radar that I hadn't previously thought about, which is the idea that, and it's currently being put up as a ballot measure in Montana, I believe. But the idea that while Citizens United has effectively made it so that unlimited amounts of corporate money can go into elections, states still retain the ability to control corporations within their state, right? And so the idea is that we can, on a state by state level, and again, the Montana initiative here is a great example of that right now in practice. On a state by state level, we can pass amendments to prohibit corporations from spending in our elections. We can, in fact, put a damper on this mass lobbying effort. And that, I think, is an incredibly valuable tool for us to kick out the donor class, which, and I want to remind you guys, they frequently funnel their donations through corporations. They frequently put it, put it so that they have effectively dark money going into elections. We can make that illegal in a state-by-state fashion. But that all begins with organizing on a local level. It means organizing not just so that you have like a cool little social club. It means organizing not just so that you have, you've surrounded yourself with people who agree with you 100% in lockstep. It is organizing so that you can wield actual power, an actual coalition of actual people willing to do actual organizing tasks. And so what we're looking at here, and one of the reasons why I am so enamored with Indivisible and No Kings, is we're looking at a big tent organizing effort on a state-by-state level to kick corporate money to the curb and ban it from our state elections. We have the ability to do that. We should be exercising that ability. And that means organizing with anyone who is willing to turn out and make that happen with us.
DSA is growing explosively as an org. They do want to separate themselves from the Democrats, but the Democratic base are very much for the policies and ideas that circulate in DSA. Build a pipeline.
There was a poll that dropped just the other day that something like 60% of the U.S. electorate has a positive view of DSA. and like due in no small part to success stories like Zoran Mamdani in New York City. Um, and so what I'm hoping for is for people to recognize that advocating for the working class is one of the most popular things you can possibly do. And we should be at every available opportunity pushing working class policy reform so that this country works for the workers and not for the billionaires.
You know what else is effective political action? Clicking the like button. You should totally click the like button. Do it, now.
Too true, Knife's Duck. Thank you for the $5 dono. So this is what. Don't you mean Zoran Mandami? Holly Holmes, the gaslighting really threw me off. God. So all I want to say here, folks, is that we are going to need a coalition of people, because if you look at literally any union in this country, especially if you look at like industrial unions, you're not necessarily going to find everyone who agrees lockstep. You're going to find people who are conservative light. You're going to find people who are, a bit torn on LGBTQ issues. You're going to find people who are not in lockstep on every single issue, but they can come together in a union. And we are going to need a political movement that is capable of withstanding some degree of political disagreement within its ranks, as long as we can come together on kicking corporate power out of our elections, as long as we can come together on fundamental human rights for each and every man, woman, and child in this country, as long as we can come together on some pretty basic, non-negotiable truths about what we are fighting for. And so, all that being said, get involved now. So get involved with whatever local organizing apparatus you have and make sure you are doing something effective. Do something effective. And if you're saying, well, let's build a third party, okay, get to work doing it right now. It's 2025. You got 3 years, to make an effective political party. And you know what? The best way to do it is on the local level. If you want to make a third party, do it on the local level and make it succeed. And if you are approaching 2028 and it's not succeeding, figure out something that you can do that is going to be effective. Because I don't want people falling into apathy. I don't want people falling into useless political virtue signaling that isn't going to actually materially benefit anyone. I want people doing things that are going to help other people. Not some masturbatory, dream of yourself. Don't do that. Do something for others, not for yourself.
What y'all need to understand in the end, donor class or businessmen, if we keep bleeding their money, they will stop funding election. For example, Aiden Ross disavowing Trump.
Indeed. What is doing something effective in most cases? When I say do something effective, I mean like actually getting people together. If you are effectively only getting together in a room full of like 5 other people, and you're all saying, we need to do the communist revolution tomorrow, and everyone else is like, yeah, and then you don't do anything, and 2, you never grow the movement, that's not effective, right? I want you to be doing something that is possible. I want you to be doing something that is moving the needle. I want you to be doing something that is growing. I want you to be doing something that is bringing together other elements of your community, not just people who want to circle jerk with you, right? That's kind of the point. That's what I mean. When I say do something effective, I don't know what is going to be the most effective in your community. Maybe it's going to be organizing around keeping the senior center open during the winter so the homeless folks in your community don't freeze to death. Maybe it's going to be organizing around your local food banks to make sure that in the harsh economic times to come, they are going to remain open and available and stocked. Maybe it is that you are going to organize around water testing to make sure that even though the EPA has effectively been gutted by Donald Trump, your local water is still held to drinkable standards. Maybe it's going to be organizing around rural broadband efforts. I don't know what is going to be effective here, but what I do know is that when you look at the needs of your community, figure out a way to provide for those needs and figure out a way to bring together more and more people to fix those problems. Right? And so my entire position here is, and always has been, that the Democratic Party is a flawed apparatus that has been captured by corporate wealth, but it does not need to remain so. And to that end, I think that organizing within DSA and radicalizing your Democratic local party can be an effective way forward. It can be an effective way to mainstream political talking points, but it's not the only way. And so I was watching a documentary about Paul Wellstone. And for those of you who don't know who Paul Wellstone is, he was an up-and-coming progressive figure in Minnesota politics. Very influential locally. And he got his start advocating for rural power lines. And like different ways of advocating for, small farming communities. And he built up from that a very powerful political movement. He built up the ability to like leverage progressive politics in the Midwest.
The people are aroused.
And people are aroused. Exactly. And so what I'm trying to say here is that, Paul Wellstone didn't work with just people who agreed with him, but he was able to convince others. He was able to convince others, in the 1980s on like green energy initiatives. He was able to convince folks to take action that they wouldn't otherwise do. And that is kind of the bedrock. That's kind of the bedrock of like effective political action. It is being able to convince others to join you. And so you need to be able to go to your Dem meetings and convince folks. You need to be able to go to, your DSA meetings and convince folks. And you need to be able to then turn that conviction into local action, into local either political figures who are going to champion policies that are going to help your local community, or into like, local activist actions. Those are the two ways you can really engage, either in activist actions or within electoral politics. Ideally, you do both. Ideally, in my world, you get involved with your local DSA and you rally together people more aligned with the far left, and then you also join your local Dems and you rally together people who would be considered more normie liberal. And you build an effective coalition that can get things like Medicare for all, that can get things like like housing first policies that eliminate homelessness, that like state funded food banks that can remain stocked even in harsh economic times, like basically a future where we can all succeed. Because that's not just possible from a DSA candidate in New York City. We can have that everywhere. We can have that everywhere. It doesn't have to be that only New Yorkers get a good progressive candidate into power. It doesn't have to be that. That can happen literally anywhere. And so my ask for you guys is to make it happen in your area. And not just to make it happen in a way where you are feeling good about your personal actions, but nothing wider happens. I mean, actually get it done. Actually do the work and change your local communities for the better. And like, if your problem is DSA is filled with too many grifters, or Democrats are filled with too many charlatans, then fill both groups with better faith actors. That's you guys. That is you, the working people of this country. Get involved and kick out those grifting sacks of shit. Like, and this is the thing, like, either you build your own structure or you don't. Either you build your own structures that are up to your standards, or you get involved with pre-existing centers of power and you co-opt them for better and more progressive ends. Those are your options. And when I look around, I don't see many people building these independent power structures that they constantly masturbate about when it comes to like the eve of an election. I don't see that. I don't see that taking hold and growing. But what I do see are more and more people like you guys becoming more aware of the political realities and getting involved on your local levels. I see you guys doing that day in and day out, and you need to take action. If your problem with your local party is that they are not radical enough, radicalize them. If your problem with your local party is that there's too much corporate power, then start pushing for a grassroots amendment to kick corporate power out of your state. You are not without power, you are not without agency, and it is time for each and every one of us to stand up and start fighting for what we actually believe. So that is what I mean when I talk about effective political action. And for the record, I'm a socialist. I am a proud socialist. I believe that the solution to our country is not consolidating more power, but to spread democracy to the workplace, to spread freedom and let it ring in every corner of this country, including our workplaces where we spend the majority of our time and the majority of our days. Freedom should ring there as well. And the fact that we have really put up with small tyrannical rule when it comes to our workplaces, that to me is madness. But I am still going to work alongside liberals. I am still going to work alongside anyone who I can to advance a more free and fair country for each and every one of us, regardless of our, color, class, or creed. Because I believe in freedom, and I believe in democracy, and I believe in the ability for each and every one of us to convince others and grow our movement. So, if you would like to join me, join the Discord, get involved. We have 2 people who are willing to help you get involved with your DSA and with your Dems. I suggest you take advantage of the opportunity and let's get to work. I'd also recommend you join Indivisible. I don't have any Indivisible reps in my community as far as I know, but Indivisible is doing extraordinarily great
As
work.
Dr. Jill Stein said, "Trust me, bro, I can win with next to no organizing hum."
That being said, if you enjoyed this or got anything out of it, it's hard for me to say if you enjoyed my content because, like, damn, sometimes like we're talking about some existential issues, but like, comment, subscribe, and let's get to work. My DSA chapter works with Indivisible and 5051. Hell yeah, that's what I like to see. I've worked with communists and libertarians in the same week. Yeah, I mean, I think the size of this No Kings protest, I'm guessing that the revised numbers for attendance are going to be even higher than what is predicted. That's my feeling from what I've seen on the ground. We're gonna have a lot more people, a lot more upset with the status quo and demanding a lot better. Because what we're gonna look at when Donald Trump is finally out of power, when this administration inevitably crumbles, we are going to be looking at essentially an opportunity for us to rebuild something better. And if they succeed in gutting Medicaid, we are going to have a lot of angry folks. And I hope and pray that we do not have to see that come to pass. But whatever happens here, we are going to have an opportunity in 2028 to make this country in a much more fair, kind, and equitable way. And we should take that opportunity. People are going to be angry and looking for someone and something to blame. We have to make sure they're blaming the right people and things. Exactly. Because if they're blaming queer people, we're in a whole lot of trouble in 2028. Oh, boy, folks, we've been going for an hour and a half. If you've gotten anything out of this stream today, hit that follow button, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and do the things. Do the things. Get going. Get cracking. Democrats always block healthcare for all. Then kick those Democrats out of office. That's why I spent like half of my time there talking about how we need to fight corporate Democrats. Like, I'm sorry if your problem is elected representatives are failing at in different places in the country. Like, get better representatives. Kick that corporate money to the curb. Yeah, exactly. Free healthcare, $30 minimum wage. Like, we should be getting that shit. We can get that shit. Government is done by those who show up. True. $30 minimum wage. I make $18.50 as an EMTB. Yeah, and we should be doing a lot better. If minimum wage had kept pace with productivity in this country, we would have a $30 minimum wage. Or at least last I checked, which might have been like a year ago, it would have been like $28 and some cents. JB Pritzker for president 2028. What do you think? I don't know, Alan Smith. It's really fucking hard for me to get behind JB Pritzker after seeing his state troopers beating protesters and congressional candidates. So, we'll see what he actually does, but his words are ringing a bit hollow. Only a handful of days after seeing his agents beating folks in the streets for protesting ICE. Yeah, let's talk about JB Pritzker again when we start seeing him prosecuting ICE agents. There's no one better. There are other people comparable to JB Pritzker. We'll see. Well, yeah, and Comrade Girl, you should never trust a billionaire. It's why I've always been hesitant. It's why JB Pritzker says a lot of the right words, and maybe he can be pressured into the right positions, but like, there's not going to be any perfect candidate. So we'll have to see as we get closer.
What about Zaphod Beeblebrox?
I know he has a history of womanizing across the galaxy and substance abuse issues, but I will say that the Beeblebrox campaign has its heart in the right place. Like, and we'll see what the reality is as we get closer to the election, but like right now we are years out from people even announcing their candidacy. We'll talk about it when a more in depth, at least regarding Pritzker, when we get closer to the election. We'll see what happens. Yeah, you back the candidate that will support the best policies.
Gargle
exactly.
Blaster in every pot.
God. All right, folks. I need to get going. This was just a short little thing to talk about some more No Kings. I will be back later today. We'll finish up our Yakuza stage play, and we'll also talk about the Swastika Gate. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, it's genuinely one of the silliest stories about fascists in our government right now. And I will see you either maybe later tonight. I'll check, but it'll be a while from now. Good night, everybody, or good day. Rather good day. I said good day. Bye. And remember, like, comment, subscribe, do the things, help the stream. I'll play the Click the Butt song. Here we go. Goodbye. Go, go, go. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button.